is Food Safety Leadership, Industry Insights and Best Practices. This session would be moderated by Dr. Giridhar Prabhatham, CSIR from Central Food Technological Research Institute. So now, is there anyone? Just prepare the stage, please. Distinguished speakers of this session to kindly come to the dais, please. Mr. Shitangshu Shekhar Bag, Associate Vice President, Operations, Imami Agrotech Limited. Thank you. Dr. R.K. Pal, former Director, ICAR NRC on pomegranate and Chairman, FSSAI, Scientific. Sir, please. Dr. Vandana Tripathi, Coordinator, All India Network Project on Pesticide Residues. Mr. Arjun Datta, Founder, Green Life IQ. Now I request our distinguished moderator to kindly start the session, please.
Good afternoon to all of you. So it's my privilege to welcome you to this important panel discussion on food safety leadership. Already in the context in this regard, we already set it in the morning. Sir, please go. Yeah. So as you know already that India stands at a critical point where food safety, nutrition security and consumer trust that must move forward together. So our food systems are becoming more complex and global supply chains are more vulnerable and consumer expectations are more demanding. At the same time, the nation is striving for healthier reformulations, resilient supply chains and more sustainable alignment with global standards. So in this context, the industry leadership becomes not just important, but it is indispensable. The experts representing in this panel involved in shaping India's food basket. Their expertise influence how safe, nutritious and trustworthy our food ecosystems that will be in the decades ahead. The role of technology, traceability and innovation in the safety and nutrition advancements will be discussed because all these experts are already in the Codex committees and FSSAI panels and their experience and their contributions are excellent in this regard. With this context, it's my honor to invite our esteemed panelists to share their insights, experiences and vision for a safer, healthier and more secure food for future of India. So my first question will be, I think for all the participants already were introduced, but if you would like to add from personal side, you can add a point first. Then I can ask my questions. Yeah, first may I request Dr. Vandana Tripathi.
So, a very good afternoon to all of you. I am Vandana Tripathi. I am coordinator of All India Network Project on Pesticide Residues from Indian Council of Agriculture Research. So since I am coordinating the pesticide residue program of ICR, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare has also given me the responsibility of coordinating a mega project, national level project on monitoring of pesticide residues at national level. which is a mega project which is comprising 35 laboratories across the country from 8 different ministries and departments. So basically, these are the two national level pesticide residue programs in the country as of now. And also because this pesticide residue, I think maybe in the morning session also you've heard there are a lot of quality challenges which India is not only facing at the domestic level but also at the international, many export consignments. We are facing a lot of challenges of pesticide residues. So the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, we are closely working. I'm also a member of the scientific panel of FSSAI and also of the different other ministries, Department of Commerce. So we are working closely knit with all the ministries so that the challenges which are related to pesticide residues, they can be resolved from a holistic way. So what India can do and what India is doing and what more we can do so that any quality issue which comes for our agriculture produce, it can be taken care of. So we are really working very hard in that area, and in the future we will discuss what more questions are going to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Now may I request Dr. R.K. Pal, sir. He is the former director, ICR NRC on pomegranate and chairman. And FSSA scientific panels also representing. And he has championed initiatives like the soil health card program to support the farmers. Yeah. May I request you?
Thank you, Dr. Girdhar, Director CFTRI, Dr. Bandana, Dr. Shitangshu, and Mr. Arjun Doctor. And it's a very difficult time, particularly, I'll be in between your lunch and my speech. So, in fact, this panel basically deals with the industry insights and best practices with respect to food safety. I am concerned, in the recent Global Food Regulators Meet, which was held in 26 September in Bharat Mandapam, organized by FSSAI, and I am a member of the scientific panel on fruits and vegetables of FSSAI. One of the major issues actually, which was flagged many times, even in the 2024 also, that food contaminants particularly with respect to microplastics and nanoplastics. We do not have the data. Where from it is coming in your food chain, right? Seafoods are the major source of the contaminants, particularly for the nanoplastics and the microplastics. And another very important issue, it is detection. If it is microplastics, definitely it can be detected. But nanoplastics are very, very difficult to get detected. And that is the reason why you are finding today, every second day or the third day, you will find some person are getting affected with a different different diseases, most dreaded like cancer and all, right? So this is one thing bothering me, and maybe whole industry may look into the matter of the traceability of these microplastics and the nanoplastics in the food chain, particularly for the industry, to industrial insight. And second thing is that I'd like to flag one of the issue, like total utilization concept, which is normally not being utilized in India. I can just give one small example. Since I worked in a pomegranate institute, I was the director of National Research Center on pomegranate. Pomegranate is a difficult to eat fruit, right? Suppose somebody gives you one pomegranate for eating, you cannot eat it like that. If you just open it, you will mess your cloth. So naturally, here lies the very, very importance of its processing. Now, first thing is that, when you open the pomegranate, inside it is so nicely packed. It is just like, very good edible aerials. When you see the aerials, you do not know, you cannot remember that how the original fruit looked like. Even it is very shriveled. You cut it open, you will find the aerials are good. So, but this aerials has a very, very, low shelf life. So here lies the importance of the minimal processing or the how to make it more stable. In fact, in Pomegranate Institute, we had developed a technology by which you can standardize or keep it for up to 15 days. And one of the important, firm, there are few firms, and one of them is the Sam Agrotech, which is in Hyderabad based. Maybe their turnover is more than 200 crores just by exporting the pomegranate aerials to many countries, right? After you extract the aerial, you are left with the skin. That pomegranate peel has got tremendous potentiality for various high-value bioactive components, particularly punicalagin. Punicalagin extraction, punicalagin capsules are very much, antioxidant capsules. These are very, very expensive and that can be utilized. This pomegranate peel also contains a lot of biogenic amines. These can be used for extraction of the natural color. See, this is one thing. Second thing is that when you go for extraction of the juices, pomegranate aerials, you are left with the seed. In fact, when we are doing the research, it was very interesting to note that pomegranate seed, it contains fantastic oil. That oil composition is so good, we did some extraction of pomegranate seed oil using cold press, and we had developed a technology by which all its particularly bioactive components are remain available. And this pomegranate seed oil was found to be fantastic for combating the colon cancer. In fact, very latest trial, we did it with the Netaji Subhas Institute of Cancer Research in Kolkata. With the colon cancer patients were given the, pomegranate seed oil, which was micro-encapsulated and made into capsules, and the clinical trial was given, and the results were fantastic. So that's why, I tell you again, the pomegranate, peel, we did some work, particularly with the Solapur Dental College, and we could get the, organic mouthwash. So there are plenty of opportunities for total utilization concept. The other day, last week, I was the research and advisory committee member of one of the important institutes, Indian Institute of Vegetable Research. In fact, there, in the last meeting, I suggested, why don't you use the pumpkin seed and extract the oil? And to my surprise, this year they presented the data. The pumpkin seed oil contains about 40%, 45% edible oil of high quality. And these particular oils are very good for combating BPH, benign prostate hyperplasia. So this is the kind of things, industry should look into the total value chain or total value addition aspects and considering the safety and health, and it is a theme of this Nourish, summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us on the value addition point of the pomegranate. I know that you are very expert in this one. Even CFTRA also, a couple of scientists, one department like RP Singh and another group, they worked on this pomegranate. Substantial scientific information on its bioactive potential of even the peel, pomegranate peel, and a number of products also CFTRA developed. Now may I request Mr. Sitanshu Sekam, he is the Associate Vice President Operations, Imami. Yeah, please.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, very good afternoon to all. It is a pleasure to be here to discuss about myself and about the safety and security of the food products. So this is one of the most emerging subject nowadays, as India is growing, and as according to the growing scenario, the requirement of foods, it is also growing. Early days we are taking the foods in a more pure form, from the farm to just directly to the fork. But nowadays we are eating the processed food. So now the processed foods when we are consuming processed foods, then the security and safety of the foods is one of the most essential and important for our food safety. So for food safety, see, I am serving since last 25 years to the Imami Agrotech Limited. You know, it's a known name for India, Imami. They have many popular product for cosmetics. Everybody knows Imami is as a cosmetics, but Imami is one of the second largest manufacturer of the oil, edible oil in India. And Imami is producing spices also. At the same time, the cereals also. So what I have learned in last 25 years regarding the safety and security of the food products, that what is my submission to all the entrepreneurs, those who are here in this room, and those who are listening me, that we have to make the robust policies for our quality. That because the quality is such a point, mostly it is a ignored part. Everybody is, after starting the production, everybody is behind the production. Production, cost saving, serving, marketing, branding, everything. But the major part, the main part is lagging that quality. So we must build the brand trust, because brand trust can only came from the quality aspects, not because of the branding, not because of the marketing and production. We can produce as much as we want, but we should produce the safe food. We should deliver the safe food to the people. At the outside of the factory, I am also consumer, and I am eating that food I am making, or anybody making that food. So we must remember that we should make the policy based on the global standards, and the standards must be related to the global standards like ISO, and they have already available standards from FSSI. They have very broad guidelines from FSSI for all kinds of foods. What we need to make our standards rigid and robust, and we have to follow the standards, and we have to monitoring the standards. We should maintain at our factory that we should make a compliance monitoring committee who will monitoring the compliances of the policy, whether the policy only making the policy will not help us, will not serve to produce a good food. We have to monitoring whether that policy and standards are maintaining or not. And another thing is that I will request to the new industries, we should stop monitoring or regulating or capturing data manually. Still, most of the factories, most of the companies are keeping their data manually on the registers or something. There are equipments are available. It's not costly. It's easy. It's for safe food. We should start keeping the data on digitalized. If we see, in a cold room, if the cold room temperature goes high, sometimes there have some problem in the cold room equipments, in the compressor or somewhere, the cold room temperature goes high and bacteria can develop. If we make a data logger in the cold room, we can easily monitor whether it has been happened or not. The operator who is running behind the machine, it's a human behavior, it's a human nature. Everybody is trying to hide their problems. So operator will write 8 degrees or 10 degrees, and we also believe 8 degrees or 10 degrees. We don't know whether it was continuously maintaining 8 degrees or 10 degrees. But if they have a data logger, it is it's hardly cost 8 to 10,000 only. We can easily monitor, we can easily connect or interlock with some system where a phone call can come, where a siren can come, where a light can blink, anything. So whatever, my suggestion is that we should start keeping the data monitoring and monitoring the qualities through digitalization on the digital platform, just to make it more safe. And another thing is that not only this, after that the audit, most of the time we are not doing the audit, so we should do our internal audit, and we should respect our internal audit as well as external audit. And we should scheduleize the internal audit and external audit also, just to whether the internal audits are doing right things or not. So then also that we can continue, we can check whether our system is robust, our system is working perfectly or not. And another more important thing is that the risk management. Risks, whoever making the food, what kind of risks are involvement, what kind of health risks are involvement. If there have any derail in the processing system, what kind of risk it can happen to the human, that we must know, and we should educate the people, those who are working in the process field. If they doesn't know anything happened beyond, if the process temperature goes 10 degree higher or 10 degree lower, if the person who is working there behind the machine, he doesn't know what happened, he will not that much of attentive. If you know that the reason, the risk, what happened, if it is derailed, he will be more attentive. So you must ensure the risk, complete risk assessment through the process that we should know, and we should educate the people. And last but not the least, most of the, since Bandhana ma'am here, I am requesting him also, most of the food packets are still using in India the editable printing, the main batch printing, date of manufacturing, which is the most important, that shelf life of the product. Today, I am declaring 10 months or 12 months or 6 months shelf life of the product. Most of the companies are using the editable batch printing. Somebody who is want to do adulterated, he just erase and reprint the batch. So again, after that, the same perishable product can again on the live on the shelf. So we should start. We should force slowly from the government that we must started non-editable or non-erasable printing, so that it cannot be harmful to the customer. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Now may I request Shri Arjun Datta to introduce you.
Hello. So a very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, moderator sir, and respected panelists. So myself, Arjun, I'm a agri-entrepreneur, like the word you can say as agri and come as an entrepreneur. I see a couple of young enthusiasts out there, so you should be more inspired and must focus. So I started our project as a small college project. And today, the distance of 2 years, it has been an MRR of 30 lakhs LOI per month. So what's the project all about? We started as an hydroponic, aquaponic plant, a small project. Today, we found out the problems, disease, prediction tools, AIs, MLs, more often technology. So we have come up sorted the problem across digitizing the farms. So number one, we are working on the supply chain entire software, like traceability, farm to fork, a particular seed, and then the traceability starts from packager to distributors and from the end product. And for digitizing the farms, we are helping the farmers with the help of our AI software with market linkaging. So a farmer's problem is never with the technology. A problem is with where to sell, how to sell, and how efficient the system can be. So these are the two major aspects currently we are focusing. And currently we are supported by Pusa Krishi. I guess the young people should know Pusa Krishi. Even our stakeholders at STPI Bangalore, even Bengal Chamber was there from the very beginning, started with us. So.
Thank you very much. Since you have initiated, I will start the questioning. I mean, my first question with you only.
Okay.
Because you are already, as you mentioned, you are doing precision farming, especially with a focus on improving efficiency and sustainability. Currently, there is a big boom for the organic products and organic cultivation, especially in the context of environmentally sustainable development. That is what government is also promoting. But it is not so easy to practice in a big way for those associated with the startup ecosystem in this sector. How can we look at this issue, and what are your suggestions to those involved in this organic cultivation? Because cost effectiveness also we need to see, especially because they immediately expect the revenue from this one and returns from that one.
So a very good question. So I will come across the system. What's the problem? The organic. So the problem is not about the type of product. The problem is what type of product and whom to sell. So for the export quality, for the organics, definitely there are lots of vendors. So in our startup currently in IQponics Technologies, Private Limited. So we are working as a, like digitizing the farm. We are providing our softwares to the individual vendors systems, and very rightly, like Shitangshu sir has mentioned about the batch codes and all. So we are using this entire blockchain enabled system where the vendors from packaging till the end, everything can be tracked. And once the data is being stored, it can't be changed. And so some IoT enabled systems are also there, like integrating, like recently, like in the next month, we will be launching our makhana. So from Bihar, the things are coming up. So that particular place, like what's the atmosphere, what's the climatic condition, is it a summer season, when it is wild, the entire like location and the data points will be collected, and that will be pasted in the QRs, in the batch codes. So this is how like the efficiency can definitely be increased, and the market linkage and obviously an export quality of the organic can be made.
Yeah, as you mentioned, unless you invoke the latest technologies, especially in that organic sector, it's very difficult to track things, because even now, whosoever wants to step into this system, third-party certification itself is having so many loopholes. Anyway, I'll come back to that one. Now, I may put a question, my next question to Dr. Vandana Tripathi. Madam, already we have, in the morning, Dr. Alkaro has mentioned regarding the MRLs and other things. But still, a lot many apprehensions are there regarding the MRLs. What are the challenges currently we are facing in the fixation of MRLs of pesticides in the context of global commerce for spices especially? Of course, it may be applicable to fruits and vegetables also, but spices is one of the important area, because you are an expert in this case, because compliance challenges due to divergent MRLs is your pet topic. So can you throw some light on this?
MRL, I think always a burning issue whenever, whether it is related to export or in-house, every time the challenge which we are listening to is MRL. So let me assure that the government of India is very well aware of this issue, and lot of things are happening where we are doing lot of data generation, because what is MRLs, let me tell you, these are also have a trade angle. So MRLs are, one aspect is the food safety, another aspect is the trade aspect of MRL. So whenever a MRL is fixed, whether in India or in any other country, or even at the codex level, what is very important to understand is that how it is going to impact our trade. So in FSSAI, we are, all the methodologies that are being followed are in line with the international guidelines as per the codex procedures. So we are very confident that the MRLs which are getting set in India are as per the international procedures. So these are the robust MRLs. But the problem comes here is that pesticides, how many MRLs we can, actually set. So the question comes from, because how many the ultimate, stakeholders are the pesticide manufacturers. So they are the ones who have to generate the data, then they have to apply to the Central Insecticide Board and Registration Committee for the approval, and then it comes to the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, FSSAI, for fixing the MRL. In this entire chain, when we see if the industry is seeing some commercial viability in registering that pesticide and in fixing that MRL, then only the MRL will get fixed.
Yes.
And for specialty crops, like you mentioned, spices, many times it doesn't make sense to, because the data generation requires resources, it requires a lot of money, and also the time constraint is there. So many times, many manufacturers, they are not coming forward for, especially for the specialty crops. So for this, there is a very good provision which India has, really taken it into the international forum, that we, for these specialty crops, let us not go for this entire procedure of data generation. Let us only go for the occurrence data. So because our farmers, they are facing some disease or pest challenges, that is the reason they are using some pesticides. And of course, cost effectiveness is important. So based on what residues we are getting in the different spices, whether these residues are safe or not. So there is a scientific protocol through which, through the occurrence data, the FAO, experts, they are evaluating for the global consumers whether these pesticides, this much quantity of this pesticide in this spice, whether it is going to cause any risk to the consumers or not. And based on that, the MRLs are being fixed. So I am very happy to share that, I think already shared in the morning, 23 MRLs based on the Indian data, occurrence data. For that, many of those pesticides still label claims are not there with the CIBRC. But the maximum residue limits have been fixed based on a scientific evaluation in which the risk has been assessed for the global consumers, for all the world consumers. So I think this is one step how we are tackling such challenges, because such problems keep coming and their ways have to be found out that how to, address these challenges. So this is a success story I would like to share with the
Thank you. I hope in the 23 some are addressed for the chili also.
No,
No,
so
it's
in
not.
this case, the spices for which occurrence data codex is accepting is only the cumin, cardamom,
Cumin,
seed
cardamom.
spices,
Okay, only
all
those
these.
things, not
For
addressing.
chili, it is considered as a vegetable crop.
Vegetable, okay.
And only the processing factor is applied for red chili.
Red
So
chili.
there they are
But
not
still the
taking.
problem is there.
For red chili, already in India also 83 pesticides are registered. So I think
That's right.
MRLs are there for which.
Literally chili will be bathed with pesticides.
No, it's not that it is registered, but
Yeah.
definitely we are getting residues.
Yeah. Now my question is to Paul sir. Sir, in this already morning we have discussed on the latest tools, integrating the digital tools into supply chains. That is what you have mentioned just now. How is that digital transformation, such as traceability and real-time monitoring and predictive analysis, they are helpful for food safety in fruits and vegetable sector. Again, for example, you are an expert in pomegranate, because one season farmers gets good export permits. Next season, again, there is a downfall. Okay, because this pesticides usage is also varies with region to region. For example, in the northern Karnataka region, there it is a very famous this anar cultivation. 1 or 2 seasons they will get the benefit. Next season, all of a sudden that collapse. Again, the same thing happens in Maharashtra region. So like that. So there is no consistency in addressing the pesticide related what is it called, sending back of the consignments, especially from the Gulf region and other things. So how to address this problem, pesticide related issue in the pomegranate?
Yeah, thank you for raising the very, very pertinent question. Like I can tell you, like GrapeNet, we had already developed or almost 90% the ANARNet in APEDA. And, there is a very standardized integrated pest management schedule developed by NRC Pomegranate. If it is followed very religiously, and then definitely the problem of this rejection will be avoided. But only thing is that actually what happens, farmers or the growers, they go by the words of their neighbors. They do not many times, that comes in a very, very difficult situation, like you spray this, you will get this much of thing. Ultimately, he may not, or farmer may not get that one. So a scientific follow of the integrated disease and pest management schedule, which is developed by National Research Center on Pomegranate, and which is tried in the All India Coordinated Research Project trials at various locations. So I don't think there will be many problem, particularly with respect to the rejection of the consignment based on the MRL of various pesticides. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, my question to Sudhanshu. Yeah. You have already mentioned regarding the purity, how important is purity and also rigorous cross-check in between auditing and all these aspects. Yes, certainly true. But how do you balance the cost pressures with the need for high quality, low trans fat, safe edible oils, especially when global commodity prices fluctuate? Because now everybody is talking about the trans fats. Already reduced levels of trans fats we brought from 2013. If you see, 10% levels were permitted in edible oils. Now, as on today, by 2022, it has come down to the 2%. Now, the government's target is zero trans very soon. So, in this context, still R&D output, market survey is lacking. Okay, so how do you see this from the perspective of the cost effectiveness in addressing this trans fat free edible oils?
This is a very interesting question. This is a very interesting question, and not only interesting, this is a problem statement to the food manufacturer in India, especially edible oil manufacturer in India. Yes, trans fats is an issue, and of course, the best result is needs to be zero. It has a lot of work has been done on this particular reduction on the trans fat. Nowadays, many companies has reached up to 0.5% level, and as a company, as a Imami, you have already reached 0.5% level, and there are technology, definitely we can reach up to zero, but yes, that is not cost effective. That cost, since the commodity market, every company has to be competitive in the price on their product. They needs to be sale to the product, and at the same time they need to be delivered the safe foods also. FSSI guidelines also there, for clear guidelines also there, how to reduce, how to maintain the trans fat. Apart from that, there are technology available nowadays in the deodorization. The trans fat basically we can reduce in the deodorization where the trans fat generate actually. That is the last part of the refining in edible oil. It is generate because of the high temperature. Okay, when we'll in the cooking place also, when we are cooking in a open atmosphere, in a atmospheric condition, in deodorizer it is completely vacuum. In a cooking, when we are doing cooking, that time the trans fat generation is huge. We are asking the trans fat for the packet, where it is maximum 2% or 3% or something like that, not because beyond 3% in today's scenario. But when we are cooking the oil with overheating, most of the family, I don't know, they are cooking, during the cooking they are using their lights on the top. But it is bad to the cook, it is bad for the food also. The cook which we are cooking, it's bad for the food. The low flame heating is good for the food, for the digestion and for boiling also. But we are doing, when we are doing cooking, we are try to make the food as early as possible with everybody is hurry. That makes the high spike of trans fat that we don't know. We are producing, we are buying a low trans fat product, low trans fat edible oil, but when we are cooking it, when we are using, we are actually
Practices and
increasing highly. So this needs a knowledge, or this needs educated to the people, and more advertisement how to control this. And of course FSSI needs to be more strengthened, and they are doing it. See, if I remember before 10 years, I think it was limit was 5. Now they have reduced the limit up to 2.5%, and henceforth they are planning to reduce further 1.5% or something, what I have heard, the draft report. So yes, it is control, and it is a problem, and need to educate it to the peoples in the industry.
Yeah, because the fortificants also contribute to bring down, to avoid the esterification. So trans fat formation also can,
Absolutely.
yes, sir.
Absolutely.
That is the reason why the levels have drastically comes down rather than technological developments. Actually, here I would like to mention one thing. Very recently, we had inked an MOU with WHO related one project through Government of India. Yet to stake, this is purpose is to make a market survey, especially for the trans fats. In this, Karnataka Health Promotion Trust is also a part of this one. And very soon, CFTR is initiating a global market survey on trans fats. So that is, yeah. And just a couple of days back, this trans fats, when conclave happened in Hyderabad, I think that the post-graduation medical technology, Professor Thakur, he is leading that thing. So how to, see the method optimization for optimal analytical validation is very, very important for trans fats under various cooking conditions like what you have mentioned. So CFTRI and some other 5, 6 organizations are part of this one. That activity also already started a project.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah, thank you. So now, and my question to Mr. Arjun. So I have seen that I heard that your organization's thing also in that information has been mentioned by using the techniques what you have adopted, 1/6 of water you can use to improve the yield or quality in terms of 3 times or 4 times like that. So water saving, but at the same time production and yield you can improve. So under this context, how much is successful are the organic farming and cultivation practices helpful in alleviation of global warming? So that is one important, and especially and throughout the globe the buzzword is on carbon footprinting. So, but at the same time, how it will be helpful to address the food crisis and improving the supply chains. And lastly, how it will be helpful to improve the livelihoods of the rural population, because ultimately the target of that particular types of cultivation methods is the rural population. Unless their livelihoods are get improved, there is no meaning of this one. So can you throw some light on your experience on
Sure.
this?
So I would like to come to the third point first, livelihood. So it's a very interesting term. So the actual paradigm of the livelihood is the growth. It's not only the family income increase, it's like their lifestyle increase. So if I take an example of the farmers, currently we are having 2,800 of them. So how their lifestyle is increasing? Through our technology adoption, what they were doing in cash, they are learning, they're utilizing the tools. If I take a small example, once before 5 to 8 years, think of UPI. People thought, oh my God, UPI, we won't use. Majority of the tier 3, tier 2 cannot use. But today, it's everywhere. So we, as an example of, we are not only providing the solutions, we are helping to solve a major problem, which is adoption, learning, coming, increasing their productivity of the next generation. Coming up to the second question, the data points. So data points using different applications, different IoT devices is what we are implanting. Not only with the enrichment of particular farming, but also how they can gather and use the latest more using efficient innovation techniques. So what are the techniques? Like traditionally we have done a survey in Dankuni, like we have a couple of farmers, FPOs, we have been connected. So they are using still the traditional. So the techniques, for the techniques, the best thing is we have our advisory team. So they used to train them. First learning, then comes a small POCs, we used to handhold them. Then comes our software implementation. And then comes our utilizing of some agentic AI tools where the data points has been into the figure and future predictions are there. So I have answered your first question.
Yeah, you are right. Actually, it's not alone for these fruits and vegetables and others. You might have seen in news channels recently this saffron cultivation. Even in the in-house, just like in this much room, they are making in the bedrooms and in apartments also, they are cultivating the saffron bulbs very effectively. A lot of success is there in that, like in the hydroponics and other things. Yeah, now my question to Madam. Madam, for morning, somebody was that I mentioned regarding the rice. Rice, yeah. For a commodity like rice, how can food safety become a brand differentiator, both in India and also in the global export market? Okay, export means again, of course, it could be a boiled rice or basmati rice. Because in the rice has issues like mycotoxins, pesticide residues, and milling-based hygienic practices. So in that context, what is your suggestion and our observations?
So basically, when in our project we are doing testing related to rice. So what we are coming across is that rice definitely during the course of growing the paddy, and by the time there are different processes which are involved, which includes dehusking, then polishing, and by the time the rice comes to the market, the rice is definitely the pesticide residues. We see through the process that there is lot of reduction in the quality, in the level of the contaminants over the from the farm to the actually to the market, because this is the raw rice we are talking. We are not taking presently cooking into account, because we have done some experiments. We have proved that through cooking 70 to 80% pesticide, it is getting degraded. So all those parameters are there, and India is definitely playing a big role at the Codex Committee on Pesticide Residue. See, there is one pesticide, tricyclazole, which is used for the farmers are using, very popular in India for the control of the blast disease. But the problem is that the EU, they are putting the level of the maximum residue limit of this pesticide at the default limit of 0.01 ppm. So what India did was, we went and generated the data, and then we proposed the limit to the Codex Alimentarius Commission, and based on the data which the partner, the company which was there with us, they submitted the toxicology data, and we could increase this limit to 5 ppm. So instead of the 0.01 ppm which was given by the, which is as a default limit for European Union, now there is a codex limit, international limit, which is 5 ppm. So now the countries which were earlier not having any limit, now they have a limit of 5 ppm. Now EU accepts or not is their trade decision. That is something which is related to their politics. But for us, this is a good news that at least at 5 ppm also we have been able to prove that this rice is safe for consumption. So instead of following the standards which have been set somewhere blindly, I think India has now reached a place, especially in commodities like rice, where we have that basmati rice, which is really a kind of GI for us and for the entire world, where our rice is getting exported. I think India should be a standard setter rather than a standard follower, and yes, so we really need to make that type of a difference, that now we have to promote our products and our commodities for which we are the leaders, that we are the leaders and we are growing it, and this is, and the quality we are proving through our scientific evidence. So there should not be a question mark on the quality which India is giving. So that scientific evidence is very important, that from our side, and together we should generate that.
Yeah, rather from this scientific point of view also, that's very, very important. But country specific, as you mentioned, regulatory limits will vary, and ultimately our commerce ministry decisions are very, very vital in considering our frequent changes one season to another season, limitations. Yeah. Before I conclude, I just a quick question to sir. Sir, you are in the so many committees, so you might have heard about the response from the both the consumers, buyers, and even the producers. So how do you see the consumer communication is evolving nowadays compared to 1 decade back? Because of so many buyers are responding, how the buyers and consumers are responding to the safety labels, certifications, and origin of guarantees as per the brand value. So nowadays, because sometimes labeling this is sourced from so and so, so and so, then so consumers prefer, okay, like that I can buy like that. So, for the same thing now he has mentioned Makana. So Makana again, it is 5-6 locations in Bihar it is growing, whether it is Madhubani or Mithila or Purvani, so like that. They say Mithila one is the excellent one, highest price 1400 rupees per kilo, but the next grades are 1000 rupees or 800. So such consciousness has, what is your comment on this?
This is a very, very important question. Particularly, I would request all of you to kindly visit the FASAI portal. There are, for every commodities, there are guidance notes. Just yesterday only, we had finalized one guidance note. Particularly, many times, used to see earlier, this is their reconstituted juices were labeled as 100% fruit juice. You cannot. You cannot get 100% fruit juice fact in that because it has to be water. There is to be water added, right? So now they have changed the label, and in the morning I was discussing with Dr. Alka that now the industry is so clever, they have made it, instead of juice, that 100% no added sugar, they have written. 100% no added sugar. So that, there is no point in making that 100% putting in that label. So that creates a lot of confusion and, particularly to the consumers. Now, particularly which, in order to have that, barrier, information or education, consumer education, yes, and FASAI has launched several programs, and one of the important program is that guidance note for each and everything. Even in case of rice also, it is there. Because arsenic contamination, instead of MRL of pesticide, contaminants, particularly the heavy metals, are very important. And particularly in West Bengal, some areas, the arsenic contamination in paddy, it was very high. So, but the process actually, why we are safe? Because the process of eating is quite different in India as compared to the process of consumption in the Western world. Because we have our cooking, our high temperature, our, all these practices made us and kept us safe for a long time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So I thank all the panelists for spending their time and giving a good sessions and good, based on your experiences you have shared, that is very, very important. Otherwise, most of the things, we'll read the things, but since you people are in the panels, definitely your experiences matters a lot to us. So I conclude with the two comments. One is what should be India's strategy for building next generation food safety talent. So next generation food safety talent, that is where again I am mentioning the proper capacity building and training, tailor-made things are required to empower the employees to know what is happening. That is what he has mentioned in the oil industry. So this, then it will be helpful from plant level operators to quality leaders to meet the future industry demands. So in the era of this current sustainability and sustainable development goals, how can these companies balance safety, shelf life, and clean label demands without compromising the product integrity matters a lot. Then if the policies, whatever the government has to make in future should be centric on all these three important aspects, then we can meet food safety standards on par with the European standards. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to run this panel show.
Thank you
very
so much, sir.
Thank you, all of you.
And I request Mr. Jayanto Chakraborty to kindly hand over the mementos to our distinguished speakers. But due to scarcity of time, we could not do the question answer session, but definitely during the networking session, we will have time to talk to our distinguished speakers. And here is an announcement I request all of you to kindly get back to this hall by quarter to 4. That is 3:45. Please get back here by 3:45. And one please come for a goof. Okay.